Good evening, one and all. My name is Alicia Anspaugh, and this is the Psychic RoundTable. With me tonight, well, all right. The topic of tonight is empathic overwhelm. You know, it's one of those things. I guess the way I see it, I could be wrong. I am very much open to being wrong about this. But the way I always kind of seen empathic overwhelm, it's when you're too busy dealing with everybody else's crap. Meanwhile, all your crap is still piling up behind you. And everybody's happy that you're taking care of theirs, but nobody bothers to try and help you deal with yours. And that's just my personal interpretation. With that, I will also state that this show would be absolutely boring if there wasn't other people here to join me on the stage. And as it's going to be right now, I'm going to say ladies first. Hello, Sheena. You are muted.
There we go. Better.
Much better. And then also, I've got this gentleman here doing his best Santa impersonation, Wade.
Hey, Alicia.
Hello, Wade. How are you this evening?
I'm pretty good.
Got any jumpers coming out?
No, I haven't. Not yet.
Well, it looked like you almost had one there. All right. And so, also, the best DJ on this cast, Earl.
Good evening.
So, and there will be more people joining us you're not the only ones. I mean, hell, I didn't actually send the link to Wade, so I guess my wife got that one. Anyway, let's Sheena, I brought you on first. So what is your take on empathic overwhelm?
So I believe empathic overload happens when your shielding or your energetic boundaries start to get blurred. And usually that occurs when you're not aligning yourself, you're not aligning your own energy, you're burning out, you're giving too much and you're not filling yourself. And then at that point, you would have to strengthen your boundaries and understanding the difference and really sitting in between empathy and sympathy and learning the difference between the two so that you can keep yourself shielded and keep yourself out of that energy overload.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, Wade, I brought you on next, so I will ask you, what is your definition?
My position on the whole matter is it tends to involve you taking on other people's emotions and having that really interfere or get tangled up really in your own aura, your own mental activity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And yep. Earl, what about you?
Yep. I'll have to agree with both of them, especially with what Sheena said, that I have actually learned the hard way that if I don't wind up keeping shields up, especially when I'm in certain settings, then I pick up on others' emotions. I pick up on a lot of different stuff, and it'll trigger a huge migraine for me.
Mm-hmm.
It'll trigger a migraine, and I've learned that the hard way.
Earl, what do you do when you recognize when you get to the point of you've taken on too many emotions, gotten overwhelmed? What do you do for the transmutation or the releasing of that?
Basically, I have to separate myself from what's going on, and I will just kind of close off for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I don't, then others are going to wind up seeing how it's affected me and seeing the more of a darker side of me that I'd rather not let people see.
Yeah.
I mean, that it doesn't help when you're actually wearing a black shirt.
Hmm.
You know?
I just realized, like, I'm outnumbered tonight. Usually it's Earl that's outnumbered. This is.
Oh yeah, no. Tonight it's very much a sausage fest. Right now, anyway. I'm still waiting on.
I mean, at least I'm not getting called sugar daddy anymore. Shit.
I mean, is that
you.
so bad? And I guess my other half, Dennis here, empathic overwhelm will lead to extreme sickness.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I agree.
Yep. I have been through that too many more times than I can count, actually, when I was earlier in my journey. And even now, if you get into that cycle of burnout where you're not taking care of you, it's really easy to get run down and your body you can get all kinds of sickness until you get rid of it. Give yourself some space, like Earl said.
Yep. Yeah. It usually winds up being having to sit in the shower for about a half hour and just get rid of everything.
Yeah. Do you have any like pagan activities like meditations or pagan things that you help?
I used to, but yeah, not so much right now. So basically, anytime I feel like I'm getting a buildup of other people's emotions and pain and whatnot, then I wind up doing everything I can to get rid of it. And if I don't, then it's just going to wind up setting in deeper. Like I can't do that.
Yep, I agree.
So not to push Earl to the side here. Wade, what do you do?
Cleansing baths.
Do you do like the salt bath, the Himalayan? Do you use? Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And anything with mint in it is really. Mint is magically almost an all-purpose herb. One of the few all-purpose herbs.
Oh yeah.
Yep, that's
exactly
what I use.
Cleansing, protective. It can, help you send messages.
I joke around. I said I love a good cleansing bath at the end of a hard day because it's like doing your own little simmer pot or boiling pot with yourself. Yeah.
Calgon, take me away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you guys do that require clothing?
Nope.
So I mean, nothing really requires clothing, but meditation is really important. And then depending on where you are in the path, I think you have to do, come back to the old age, egg bubble, imagining that. And then I think grounding is the most important, so you can actually get it out and not within. And then I would say things like aerial or any kind of physical activity sometimes can help move that energy around and get it out and about, out of the way. And depending on what because you got to remember, we soak up everything. So sometimes it's people's angry emotions, sometimes it's people's health, health and sickness, sadness.
Mhm.
You got to kind of get creative with the ways you release that.
Yep. Yeah. Because
Let's see.
I use a mint rosemary mixture in the shower.
Yeah.
I use Irish Spring. But I was about to say, Sheena, how many kids do you have?
I have
Two?
two older, and one. I just have Luna. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you only had two. I figured you know all about grounding.
Oh, I do.
With kids. Oh God. Yep. Yeah, that pun was definitely intended. So,
Between kids and also I have an Aries son of Mars, so grounding and meditation was a big thing just for my own anger and emotions and not going Aries all the time. So yeah.
oh, I understand that 100%. I personally, I must say, I don't have an Aries child, and I am awfully grateful for that. But I have an Aries mother, and she still drives me nuts. So, and I mean, at least with me, it's a short trip. So,
Yeah.
Going back around to Sheena there. And also not to get too personal. Was there ever a time when you just truly, truly felt like you were never going to recover because of the overload?
Yes, and it was one of the biggest lessons of my life, actually, because I had not only was I an emotional overwhelm from everybody else, but I was also going through my own, like dark night of the soul. And it got to the point, like even where nothing was working at that point, was just I let it get so far gone. And then I believe that's when people start to sink into that, that darkness and the self-harm, and climbing out of that hole is very difficult. So I try not to let myself, that was my goal at that point, was not letting it ever get to that point again, where you just don't see any options out. So yeah.
Wade?
Not for me personally. Although I have had experiences identical to Sheena's, they were just from my own situations of time, the people that I was dealing with, rather than taking on others' emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Furl, how about you?
Well,
Like right now, apparently.
like I said, there has been times in the past where, yeah, even when I was basically raising my daughter, but I had to separate myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, his yeah. What was weird about it is that her birthday is on November 8th, and mine's on the 28th of November. So, yeah, basically, we kind of bounced off of each other.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, Scorpio versus
Scorpio.
Terry?
Sag. Yeah, of course you bounced off each other.
Yeah.
Couldn't stand each other.
Yeah, there are times where it's like, go, just go away.
Oh, your birthday's on Black Friday this year.
Terrific.
Good luck with that. So, all right. I've not started with Wade yet. I will ask you, Sir Wade. Do you have any recommendations on how to prevent the empathic overwhelm?
Wear black tourmaline. It
Yeah.
it helps. It's a return to sender stone.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I can't disagree with that. So
Regular meditation to strengthen your aura, and to make sure that it's nice and robust. No tears or anything in it. And that's basically my general insight into that.
And I will say that when it comes to vending at events, especially outside, I've been known to spread a salt ring around my area. I hate to say it, but it's like there are times I've had to do it.
no, I believe it. I believe it. Yeah, don't even get me started on vending at events. This time of year, hydrate. Lots and lots of water.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're doing a show outside this time of year, you are a kind of you're a special kind of macadamia that I just don't understand.
So far, I've not.
I saw
I've not done anything. That was me, Goose.
Yep, way to go, Earl.
That was me, Goose. Hey, that was
I'm
me.
going to mute you till you get that taken care of.
Yeah.
All right, Sheena. What recommendations do you have?
So the recommendations I would say is, especially if you're newer, like just discovering your empath, skills, I would say first step is learning to discern between what are your emotions and what are other people's emotions. And then from that place, using shielding like stones, like I use labradorite all the time for my shielding as a reminder. And
Labradorite?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It works for me.
Fair enough. I know that would not be my first choice.
It does work for me, especially especially with the people I live around. It like puts like a little bubble into my bubble for some reason. And then like I said, once you get to that point where you can, use tools and things to kind of strengthen your shield, then that's when you can get to the point where you can learn the difference between sympathy and empathy, like learning how to feel for others without actually absorbing what they're feeling as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, relying on your meditation and your strengths when your shields are going to be down or when your energy is going to be down yourself, because when we go through things, we can't keep a solid steel protection around ourselves at all times, and just leaning on those tools that you gained in the beginning, like meditation and Reiki and stones and grounding and transmutation and movements, writing, anything you can do to let those emotions escape.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as solid steel around yourself at all time, I don't personally know anybody, but anybody I do know that could keep steel around themselves at all times, they're all fictional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been a huge fan of the X-Men for decades.
Well,
like I tell all. Sorry, Earl.
Oh, go ahead, Sheena. Go ahead, hon.
Life is gonna life with us no matter what we do, so we have to learn to go with the flow and save us as we're saving other people.
Yeah. Me, I almost envision basically energy shields that from Star Trek. I mean, using a shield like that to surround yourself, and that way nothing's going to penetrate.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Mary.
Mary,
Mari.
Earl, phrasing.
I think it's Mari.
And I've now lost where we were at.
Lori Cabot has a good shielding technique in her book Power of the Witch, which is one of my favorite books. I recommend it all the time.
Mm-hmm. And
Okay.
this is one that I recommend.
Crystals for Psychic Self-Defense.
Oh, who's the author?
There you go.
Nicholas Pearson.
Thank you. I couldn't read that.
Yep. I keep this one handy because basically it gives you 145 gemstones for banishing, binding, and magical protection.
Fair enough. And see, oftentimes people oftentimes do come into the shop. And it's like, hey, what stone would you recommend for this? Or what stone would you recommend? I especially love this one. What stone would you recommend for protection?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always like, what are you trying to protect against? You know?
Wait, do you need me to put that back up again?
No, I'm just writing the title and author.
Okay.
Nicholas Pearson.
Yeah,
Here, I'll even write it down here in the comments.
This is about the best book that has been sent to me.
Mm-hmm.
Crystals for Psychic Self-Defense.
Yep.
By
Is
Glass.
I get sent books every once in a while from Llewellyn to review, and this was one of them.
Nice.
All right. And by the way, there you go. As well as on the Facebook comments.
Cool.
So,
I'm glad Llewellyn is stepping up their game lately, because back in the 90s, they didn't do very good. Their books weren't of very good quality then.
I mean, that was, fun fact. 1995, that was 30 years ago.
Wow.
So
they've had three
no.
decades to figure it out. So,
God.
Oh.
oh yeah. Yeah, 29 years ago at this time, I was in boot camp. Yeah. So,
Junior in high school.
oh, wow. Yeah, no, I graduated in 96. So,
Oh,
so I actually, so Wade and I are the same age. Weird. I'm jealous of your Santa impersonation there.
It's normally not this bad. It's more red when I've trimmed it.
Well, yeah, and I was dressing up as Santa. I did it for a few years. In fact, I'm still doing it in December. The difference is this year I'm not normally by now I would have started the beard if I was going to grow a real one. I would have already started it, and by now it would have probably about 2 months of growth on it. By the time it gets to December, when I've not shaved it at all, it's normally about like so, and down to about here. I'm trying to, I mean, it's not hanging, it's not down to my belly. It's barely down to the bottom of my, to the base of my neck. But it's also at that point, it's just annoying. I'm getting beard in my food, and I'm getting food in my beard, and I can't stand it. And so last year I determined I was not going to grow it out anymore. So I actually have a Santa wig and beard. Frankly, I look much better as a real bearded Santa than I did with that with the wig and the beard. But oh man, I felt so much more comfortable at the end of the day when I got done playing Santa because I didn't have to worry about, you know, and felt so much cooler taking the beard off and everything.
Mm-hmm. I bet.
But I also have, for some reason, I always have fun walking to gas stations wearing my Santa suit.
I'm always so jealous though. The guys that have like these perfectly coiffed beards. I'm like, how the hell do you do that?
Those perfect beards though. If they're real, they've been working on them for years. Speaking of which, hi Beth.
No, Beth.
But yeah, no, it's one of the. Trust me, I'm jealous because my beard, as you can see, is still not completely gray yet. So neither is yours.
Are you waiting for it to go gray?
Probably not, honestly. No, for the most part, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy being Santa. Like last December at my church, basically a huge party bus came up through the church line, and they wouldn't fit under the canopy, so they went off to the side. And I dressed up as Santa Claus, just walked right into the bus, and come to find out, it was about 6 different families. It might have been 8 different families, but 8 different, so 16 adults and approximately 30 kids. Maybe 35 kids. Oh, they went bananas as soon as I got on that bus. They just, oh my God, it's Santa! Santa's here! Santa! Yeah, that's what I enjoy. I enjoy the reactions. I enjoy the fact they're excited to see Santa. I do know another person who does Santa Claus every year, and he has actually pointed out, Snake, if you're watching, hi. But yeah, he's actually pointed out it's not all just fun and games and, hearing the kids tell you what they want for Christmas in front of their parents and being none the wiser. Because he actually posted a story about how he was doing the Santa Claus gig. And I mean, it's before Christmas. And this one little boy walked up and he's crying because he wanted Santa to bring back his little sister who had passed away from cancer that year.
Aww.
Yeah. And it's one of those things, unfortunately, there are some things that are beyond Santa's reach.
Yep.
Yeah, and he even pointed out is like, yeah, being Santa is not just hearing what the kids want for Christmas. You also have to be a good counselor. You also have to be, a good listener. Then you actually have to show some emotion.
Yep.
And I'm not good at that.
I've got a friend of mine up in Minnesota. He basically he lives the Santa lifestyle 24/7, 365.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah. Basically, he goes by Santa Papa John. And I've talked with him several times. And yeah, he's had similar stories, the same thing. But he's made a full-time living and business out of it. He's in fact he's wrote kids storybooks, and he's got Santa merch and the whole bit.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough. And it's also one of the things I could have sworn I had just heard Mia Sposa stomping around in the background. It's almost like the arrival of Santa for this podcast. You know, it's like, but honest question, Earl, does Santa Papa John does he eat like reindeer every day?
That part I don't know.
I figured if he's living the Santa life, I can only imagine how many reindeer are being raised up there at the North Pole for Santa to just eat. So,
in fact, let's see. Share screen. Yeah, there we go. There he is, right there.
Oh, here, let's we will add that to the stage. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, and he's Santa approved. I hope that's his backyard.
Well, he lives up in northern Minnesota.
So it very possibly could be his backyard.
It possibly could be, yes.
Oh, Santa's here.
Oh, Santa. Nice.
I was referring to you.
Oh, that's me. No, I'm not Santa. Woo! Beverages.
Oh, okay. Mia Sposa has left the building again. She's grabbing her beverages, I guess.
That's what I did there.
But she brought me down some food, too, because...
I brought you down crackers. That was it.
Well, I guess I get to eat white people. All right. Oh, yeah. No, I will make all the inappropriate jokes I can in the amount of time that I've got left here on the show. Oh, God.
Those are my kind of jokes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, it's like, oh, God. And Sheena, what's on your mind? Because mine just...
Did you lose your train of thought? Number one, I'm shocked there's a Santa lifestyle. I was not aware.
Oh, yeah.
That is cool, though. I was just thinking, like, I would like to see his astrology chart. Like, what makes his life purpose being Santa Claus? Like, I feel like he's living his whole purpose right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, he has literally made a living off of it.
I think that's so cool.
There's also one other gentleman over on the East Coast that he's formed a company called Santa Inc. And he's also a first responder and volunteer fireman.
Yeah, that's cool.
So does he live? Does he actually
Pay
live
no
around?
attention to the woman behind the curtain.
I've seen
Well,
the TikTok.
not to the extent that Papa John does.
Fair enough. Oh God,
Hi, sweetie.
I had another. Oh, hold on. We gotta. It's a transition. Hold on.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
no, not the solo yet.
Where's the
I'm just trying to. Here we go. That's how. Boom.
I feel like this is the Wizard of Oz moment.
Let me make sure I can pull this out of that mode.
I think I didn't mute it.
No, I have to make sure I can pull it out of this mode.
Yeah, you just go see where it says start cam.
Cool. No, tech's been a little wonky lately. Hi, guys. Oh, my goodness. How are y'all doing?
Good.
Doing good.
And Dennis is trying to steal my water.
I'm going to steal my phone back.
Okay, that works for me. But no, thank you guys. Apologize for running a little late. It's always chaos around
You're
here
always late.
when Mom is working at the office. I told you guys what Wells Fargo's doing, yeah?
Mm-mm.
Week. Okay.
I have no idea.
Okay, 1 week in the office, 1 week at home. But the thing is, you have to pack up your entire modem every day and every night that you're in the office.
Oh, I think you did tell us that last week.
That
Yeah.
sounds complicated.
really, really inefficient and impractical. Hang on, let me message Debs because she is nowhere to be found, and she was really excited for this program. Hang on. Boop. So,
Here's something interesting is that lately I've been getting flooded with on Facebook. I've been getting flooded with a lot of people who are doing headstone cleanings and repair work.
Oh, yeah.
That's turning out to be a big thing now. That a lot of these historical buffs are going into cemeteries and working on cleaning up old headstones and repairing them.
I think I've seen a couple here and there of them.
Yeah, there's one channel specifically called the Crazy Headstone Lady.
Ooh, nice. I like it. Get over by the TV, babe.
As long as you do them properly.
Huh?
I said as long as you do them properly.
Yeah, they basically all of them wind up getting instruction first from a basically a professional.
That's cool.
Because there's only one specific cleaner that you can use on headstones, and it's called D2. It's a antimicrobial solution that basically will clean headstones, and once you use it, it'll continue to clean that headstone for months.
Oh, wow.
That's really cool.
It stays attached to the headstone itself, and each time it rains, it gets reactivated.
Hey,
Wow.
ask Debbie where she's at, AngelLynn.
Where are you at?
Go ahead, all of you together. It's on voicemail.
AngelLynn, where you at?
Yeah.
She's probably sleeping.
Most likely.
Nah, she was really excited for the program tonight, so I'm surprised I haven't heard from her. I hope she's okay. Also, Kasumi wanted me to send her regards. She is moving. She is packing everything into storage. Otherwise, she would have been on here tonight. But she did send a few things she wanted me to mention. Now, what and what all have you guys covered? Have you gone into personal experiences with empathic overwhelm? I know Dennis asked you all what it means to you. So have you gone into personal experience?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Do you have one particularly bad personal experience with it? And if so, what was the age? What was it like? And, were you aware of what was happening when it was happening? Because a lot of times empathic overwhelm can be conflated, is often conflated, especially in society, with just being an introvert. The thing is, they're two very separate issues. So is there any one thing that sticks out, and did you realize what was happening when it happened?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. One of the in fact, one of the last events that we had at the fairgrounds, is I was camping out across the street over at the hotel, and I wound up going home. I wound up leaving there at the end of what was it, that Saturday. Wound up with a migraine and had to spend 20-30 minutes in the shower to get rid of it. If I don't keeping shields up, then it triggers migraines for me.
Yeah, that's another thing. You can't always just keep your shields up. Now, did you have black tourmaline, white selenite, black kyanite on you at the time, and it still kind of
No, unfortunately, I didn't, and that was my fault, because usually, darn well that I make sure that I pick up something from you when I'm there, but I forgot.
No, I thought I'd ask if it punched its way right through that, or if you didn't have it on you.
Yeah, I didn't have it on me.
And then another question I have to ask, were you caffeinated at the time? Were you caffeinating continuously through? Wow. So it punched
yeah.
right through the caffeine.
Hmm.
I don't know about you.
I think there's some times when you can be going through things that, like, it'll punch through any and all at that point in time. I think there could be occurrences if you're not balanced or you're going through heavy things yourself.
Well, actually, interestingly enough, Antoinette can't be on tonight again. I swear to God, I'm going to give her so much smack talk about this later. But she did want me to mention, because I asked her, out of all the empaths I have ever known, Antoinette is the only one to be able to just walk through it like it's nothing. As now, sometimes she will get hit by different people, because you guys all know when you get it, there's always that one person, that one motherfucker that comes up as like, oh, God help me, and just lays your ass out. And so the question, I asked her, I'm like, what the hell do you do? And, she tried to be a little vague, and I'm like, what do you do? She's like, okay, fine. First, you got to balance yourself before you go in. Absolutely. If you can't do that, at least zip yourself up in a bubble. And then if you can't do any of that, you got to do your mantras, you got to do your chanting. And at the very end, you have to do some sort, for her. She says everybody works a little differently, but for her, she does movement, some sort of dance, some sort of yoga, some sort of Tai Chi, some sort of something. It's got to be some sort of fast movement to actually dissolve it and get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
She also said going out into nature, touching trees, hugging trees. And then for her, especially because she's got a huge connection to water, going by any body of water, having a fountain on your table at vendor events, anything. I actually got her a fountain to put on the table when she was doing readings. But this girl, she does readings, she does everything, and nothing phases her. Well, except a couple people. So I asked her, and she told me these things, and I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on it.
Well, the friend of mine who I told you about down in Missouri, who's the bone thrower, where she lives, she's fortunate enough that all she has to do is go out back. As she lives along a small stream, and she will actually go and sit in that stream.
I was wondering. She actually sits
but the
in it.
water, that would be amazing.
Even when it's like 30 degrees, she'll still do it. It's like, damn. I would.
Well, no. When you get hit with that crap, if it's bad enough, you will do literally anything to clear it. And the problem is there's not a lot of education on this. So a lot of people are, one of the things, part of what sparked this discussion is I was talking to some clients, and I ran into a couple of cases where these people have been this way for like decades. And even some of their close family members still didn't believe them. They thought it was all psychosomatic. It's all in your head. Just get over it. Tough it out.
Oh, wow.
You're just being lazy. Yes. So that's why I wanted to bring this up and bring this to light, because so many people they confuse it with a psychosomatic issue. Sometimes, yes, it can be. Okay. All right.
I guess I could easily have it, because think about it. What it is at its core being, it's empathy is feeling with them, feeling as them. So if you have no education, you're thinking that everything you're feeling
is your own,
because that's what it feels like,
Yeah. That sucks a lot. There's so much suckage on that. It's horrible. Now, when you evolve along the empath path, you are supposed to be able to transmute energy, to be able to change the energy in a room, to be able to communicate with people that might not be completely verbal. All that really cool stuff is way down the line from where most people start. Yeah. And that's why I'm bringing this up here. Now, Antoinette did mention a couple ways, but how do you guys separate your own emotions from the crowd, the din? Because everybody's got to work. Everybody's got to go to a group at some point. Family function, work, daycare, vendor event, whatever it may be. How do you separate yourself from the din, from all the noise?
So for me, I like you said, Antoinette had said, you have to find a balance. So before I go into big events or I'm around a lot of people, I do an energetic check-in with myself. I check my aura, I check myself, I check my emotion. Where's my level at the moment? And that gives me a really good sense of then when I feel something hit me or I'm starting to feel others, then I know that this is not me. This is other people. And then you can then from that moment, depending upon where you are, with your skills, you can shut your shield down, you can transmute it out,
Okay.
and let it go. So
Now, what if something does slip in and kind of you just don't catch it in time? Because that's another thing. A lot of this stuff can be really sneaky. It just kind of slips in, wiggles in, and all of a sudden you're like, what was that?
And for me, I think of it like, I imagine that it's cleansed through my aura and then it goes into my system and then out through my feet through the root. Like I just bring it in and bring it out. And like I said, but that's heavily dependent upon where I'm standing in my own energy at the moment. Because if I'm going through a lot, or if I've gotten into like a burnout cycle, or if I'm not feeling well, it's a lot harder to, take preventative measures, so to speak, and you have to go back home and you actually have to transmute and clear it, on your own during meditation.
Yeah.
So, or like she said, I do a lot of movement activity too. Like I even have anger therapy when I'm needing to release anger and yeah.
Now, what does that look like, the anger therapy?
So I don't usually talk about what I do, but I will in this instance. But usually I'll set up my meditation circle and I'll actually like put like a grounding circle around me, like salt or something of a similar, but I'll make like a grid around myself. And then I'll play some music and then I'll allow myself to cry, get angry. And then I will like let the anger out like on fists on the ground. And I just allow myself to let the anger completely go in that moment. And then I have like another technique I use where it's like physical exertion of like when I'm having attitude days or attitude time,
Yeah.
where I'll get like I had one punishment, like every time I got an attitude, I had to like do like pull-ups in the stair step. And then that, kind of gets me out of attitude phase as an Aries anyway.
No, I get that.
Oh,
Okay.
I was just thinking this. I'm still Aries.
Okay. Wade, what do you do to keep yourself self-aware, self-grounded, drown out that din, or at least separate yourself from it?
Bring a friend.
Damn, that's what I do. Anything else?
Well, if I still had my girls with me, it would be my pets.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right.
Definitely.
No, because I'm infamous for it, especially in big crowds. I don't go anywhere without my buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's my kid, so I've got that covered. He's like always with mom, and it's really bad. See, for me, I'll walk in, I'll try to deal with it and stuff like that. He's like, I'm out. And he just leaves. It doesn't matter if there's food. It doesn't matter if anything. If he feels something off or if things aren't flowing right or if he sees like negative entities, he's like, bam, I'm out. I'm like, really? He's like, bye. Bye, Felicia. Whee! But he's very fast. He's fast at scanning a room and he has absolutely no patience or time for it. So, all right. Earl, what do you do?
Well, basically, I do the very best I can to.
You do your best. That's what you do. You do your best, right? I get it.
Keep myself shielded for one. Now, I've said this before that when it came to doing like certain outdoor events, I've been known to run a salt line around my area.
Mm-hmm. Now, does the salt actually help?
Oh, yeah.
See, for me, energetically it helps, but for the hearing and feeling of the stuff, it does not.
No, it does. It does tend to keep the people at bay that I really don't want to be around.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, that's true. And I've been actually using that technique in the shop. I just kind of refresh the salt, and you would be amazed at how many people just turn and walk away.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
funny.
Well,
Yep.
no, Nicole and
Especially
Dennis
if
were like,
you've
"Oh my
got,
God, we're
especially if
turning
you've
away
got the
customers." I'm like,
uh,
"No, you're turning away problems."
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, especially if you've got the salt stones around the entrance.
Yeah, I always do. But no, I've actually taken to throwing salt in the doorways and then in the back door. And oddly enough, man, there's a lot bleeding over from other shops.
Oh, I
It's just
don't
like
know.
boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, nope, salt, 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 salt. So of course, I got my stuff up around the corners and all that fun stuff. But
If you tried brick dust,
what?
if you tried brick dust,
I thought about that next, but I didn't want to keep everybody out,
mm-hmm.
Brick dust tends to be a little stronger than salt. Salt acts like a
Mhm.
filter. Brick dust can act like a wall.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still a retail space, so I got to keep that in mind.
Brick walls out.
Yeah, no. But yeah, I like the thought. Wait, I like where you're going with it. Or were you going with throwing it at the people I don't like in their eyes? I mean, which way are we going with that? No, I'm teasing. But
Now, throwing things in people's eyes, I might have used cayenne.
fairy dust, go away. Fairy dust. But no, it burns. Exactly.
Or glitter. Glitter works well.
What?
I said or glitter. Glitter works well.
Glitter, yes. Anyway, Wade, outside of the salt line, what else do you do to remove yourself from the den emotionally, to kind of
Naps, meditation, and showers.
Earl?
Yeah, I would say same thing. Long showers, using. Well, I use a combination of mint and rosemary
Okay.
To cleanse with, and then naps. Mm-hmm.
Naps. That's interesting. Why naps?
It really helps me to also get rid of what's trying to attack me, especially after I've done my shower and cleansing. I'll base all the way down and take a nap, and it really helps.
Okay.
Yeah, they have like a resetting effect on me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah. I've had a few of those good naps myself. Sometimes.
As a professional napper, I solely agree.
Okay, professional napper. Cool. Okay. Now, Earl, you said yes, you have, but Wade and Sheena, have either one of you actually experienced getting super sick after an empathic overwhelm?
I have. I will actually get to the point of shaking and vomiting when I've let myself get too much.
Okay.
And like I said, I call it my dark days. That's a lot. That's the time when I used to let myself get overwhelmed a lot. And that's, like I said, that's mainly due to I wasn't aligned at that time at all. I was all kinds of crazy, and then everything got to me.
Yeah.
And I was physically ill a lot. And I think that is a big reason why my Crohn's had reached a point that they are now, because I was just letting everybody's emotions literally rip through my body, including my own. So,
okay. How did you put a stop to it, transmute it, heal from it? What way did you go with it? I know with Antoinette, she's big on transmutation, which is absolutely awesome, but it's not an easy one to really master. And then, but some people shield, they block. Which way did you go?
so I went the everything route. And like I said, I usually don't go into too much detail, but I dedicate like almost 2.5 entire hours to reflection, meditation, and transmutation every morning. I never skip it. I never go without it. If I don't do that, then my entire day is off kilter. If there's, or like if I'm sick or something. But yes, I dedicate when I first wake up 2.5 hours. I dedicate just to my spirituality and my grounding and movement and transmutation.
Wow. Okay.
I was telling them about this was before I learned how to shield myself back when I was raising my daughter. Yeah, her birthday is November 8th and mine's the 28th.
Okay.
So we were bouncing off each other, and it was never good when she has her mother's temper and attitude. So, yeah.
Now, wait, November 8th, is that Scorpio? I think that would be Scorpio, yeah? Woof, wow. High intensity emotion. And the only thing I ever tell any Scorpio that comes to me in the shop or as a client is just remember nothing's ever about you. Because they always take everything personally.
Yeah, so did Jody.
It's like, dude, if somebody groans and moans on their way to the coffee pot when you say hi, it's not about you. It's because they're tired. They don't want to get up and they want some coffee. And inevitably, every Scorpio laughs because they hadn't even considered that.
Yes.
They don't even consider it. And I'm like, babe, nothing is about you. I always love the fact of that in the universe because nothing's about me. It has nothing to do with me. You know?
My rising sign is Scorpio, and I feel so seen.
Oh man, it's just, but it's kind of nice that the universe is that impersonal about it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's about you, nothing's about me, nothing's about Sheena, nothing's about Earl, nothing's about anybody. We're all just dealing with our own mountain of emotional and bullshit, personal and chaos issues. That's it, you know. And sometimes people choose to be assholes about it, but you know, that's on them. You just avoid them, you know. They're shitty, avoid them. But yeah. And Earl has muted himself. Not sure why. Quickly, if he's on mute, talk smack about him.
He said he doesn't like being called a sugar daddy.
Oh my god. Hold on, let's see here. Oh,
Tell you what.
oh my god, that was funny.
I heard that.
Did you? Did you really? Go ahead, put yourself back on mute. We're gonna talk some more amongst ourselves. I've got these really cool pictures of Earl if you want to see them, guys. No. He's like, why? Oh, it's fun for me.
Nope.
That's why you've got some patience. You were raised a Scorpio.
I almost had to.
What's her Eastern sign, her Chinese sign?
That I don't know.
What year was she born, babe?
Like you said, yeah, November 8th is her birthday, and
what year?
93.
Ooh, Scorpio rooster. Well, at least she's a fellow yin sign, but no, Scorpio roosters, they can be really blunt, and if they're in a bad mood, they can be really mean. But at least they're honest.
Several times where I literally had to tell her, go away.
No, it can, because the rooster actually tags into that Virgo energy. They're connected with the Western sign of Virgo, but they can be very, very blunt. A lot of other things. For a yin sign, it's very unusual for a person to be that blunt. But I always say it's really nice because at least they don't beat around the bush and lie to you. You know what's on their mind, you know. But coupled with that Scorpio, the Scorpios, I mean, they really have a tendency, they can sting really hard. And they don't have to do anything but say something, and they know exactly where to hit you. And if they're in a bad way, oh my.
Mm-hmm.
I do spiritual guidance with a Scorpio, and she's been one of my like long-term clients.
Yeah.
And I have to remind them every time, like, are you stinging? Like, stop stinging people, and let's like wind that situation back and think about it, because like you said, every little gesture, every little, it's about them. That someone's upset, someone's angry, like let them or help them see instead of lashing. Just kind of think about it. It's sometimes it's not. It has nothing. They're just having a bad day too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but man, those stings just start doling out. And I remember long time acquaintance of mine, Scorpio rat, won't say her name. That girl. My husband has plenty of experience with her, and he's his little Gemini horsey self, right? So the minute she goes up to him, he's like, bam, 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 verbally, and she's like, oh. Me, I'm just like, okay, we're gonna play this a different way, babe, because she'll have problems with other people, and then she'll come and be mean to the people she knows really well. I was one of them.
Oh, see, Luna does that with her little Scorpio rising. I tell everybody, I was like, it's her Scorpio rising. Like when she gets angry, she just those little mean digs every once in a while. Like, yeah, they stink.
The problem is, part of the reason why I always say I stay away from Scorpio and Capricorn, because I don't want to end up in jail. Those two signs always know what to say to piss me the hell off. I mean, make me see absolute red. I'm a Taurus. And so instead, thanks to my father, my sheepy father, I learned to step back, disengage that yang part of me that's like, wham, we're just going to deal with this right now. And so one time she really just came unglued on me and everything like that in front of a bunch of people. I'm like, okay. I was really sick at the time, and it was horribly cold out. And she pushed me out of the venue and everything like that. I was waiting for Dennis to get out of the shop and come get me because he had the car. And so I'm standing out there in the cold, and I'm coughing and I'm coughing and I'm coughing. And she rolls up, right? She's like, what's the matter with you? Why aren't you home yet? I'm like, and Dennis comes up. He's like, I was gonna come pick her up. We had already told you this. Da, 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 da. She's like, wait, you were sick? And oh, the horrible guilt. The guilt just hit her, and I'm like, bye, Katie.
They will hurt your feelings, and then their feelings will be more hurt than yours sometimes, and it's crazy.
But I always take the opportunity to kind of lay back with her and just let life really smack her in the ass until she's like, oh, and I'm like, now we're going to reset and you're going to do that different. And she's like, oh, it's like, So it's basically one of those things. If you come at her up front, it doesn't work. There's just more confrontation. If you sit back and you just let her feel that guilt from her actions.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a tough one, which is also part of the reason why I'm not fond of it, because I don't like playing those games. But sometimes with certain people, my dad always said, with certain people, you have to deal with them in particular ways.
Yeah, that's what Luna, I tell everybody, I was like, just ignore her little outbursts for like 2 to 3 minutes. Let her go throw herself upon her bed in her dramatic way. And in 3 minutes, she's going to come in and say she's sorry.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's more patience than I got. Like,
oh, shoot. With Jody, it would be... she would storm off to her room, and she would be throwing stuff at the door for a good 2 to 3 minutes.
See, that's where...
Then she would come out and apologize. It's like, go clean your room.
It's like, just move yourself out of my vibe, kid, because I'm going to start whooping your ass any second here. Seriously, I cannot deal with this. Just go. Okay, I'm locking the door. I'm going out for coffee. Goodbye. Yeah, you jump out your window, whatever. But yeah, no,
Yeah, the
No
suns.
way.
There's a big difference between suns and risings, man. Like Luna, it's very quick and it's over with fast. She doesn't dwell on it, but those suns, man, they'll dwell on it, live in it, light it on fire, hold a
Eat
grudge on
it
her.
and throw it back up and then light it on fire again. And you're like, why? You know?
Yep.
Oh. Now, what is Luna's sun sign?
Luna is a Leo,
Oh, wow.
Scorpio rising, and then she's Gemini moon.
The Gemini moon will probably give her a little, but man, Leo Scorpio.
Yes.
So, Mom, how you doing with that? You good? You good? Do you need to cry? Do you need a drink? Do you need some coffee?
I take 2.5 hours of a spirit. No.
No, I've always said, I love my son, Pisces Fire Monkey, and I love him so much. He's like the love of my life, but he puts me through every single emotion at least 4 to 5 to 7 times a day. Okay. And I've always told people I'm allergic to the full spectrum of human emotion. I like to stay within like one narrow band, and his little Pisces bud is like,
Oh, I could imagine. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness.
I think one time Dennis did walk in and find me crying on the floor at one point, and Arthur had no idea what he was doing. He was just being his little self, and I'm just like, I can't take anymore. He's like, honey, Jesus Christ, have some coffee or something. I'm like, but yeah, I'm allergic to the full range of human emotion.
What
Water sign.
I am curious, what is your preferred as a Taurus? What's your preferred emotional range?
Work
And
productivity. Yes, that's what I like. That's where I like to stay. I'm good right there.
No,
No
that.
other anything.
Work. As a Capricorn rising, I can completely understand that. That's where I like to live too.
Work, productivity, work. Have a little fun, and then I have my times where I sloth out, and without everything going on at the house, I have my times where I sloth out, turn on the TV and binge watch my series, and I eat my popcorn or, my snacks, whatever. But generally, work, productivity, creativity, I enjoy staying within those boundaries. I'm happy there.
I can see that.
It's very peaceful. You know about the nodes, so I'll say my south node is Capricorn, my north node is Cancer. I'm supposed to learn the Cancer side, but I really love that Capricornian work, achieve, create, produce thing. And I'm a Taurus on top of it, and I've got a Virgo rising. So I got that going for me, like go.
Yeah. See, I'm a Capricorn rising, Cancer descendant.
Okay. Wait, whoa. So that means you got Capricorn North Node, which means Capricorn is supposed to be what you're learning to do in this life.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Capricorn rising and Capricorn North. That is okay.
I think my node is Libra, and I have no idea what that means other than I read a book on karmic astrology once, and it made me want to, because it was all like, because it was all like, you're here to make other people's dreams come true, and you'll never realize any of your own dreams.
Okay, that is the worst book ever. No.
Yeah.
No, that. Well, hey, look, some astrology books, you read them and you're like, well, this is fucking garbage. So yeah, that falls under garbage.
Yeah, with astrology and when it comes to books, they're a good like reference point, I think, unless it's a really good author. And I'm more intuitive with it, but you have to remember when someone's giving you that information with the author, you have to really, that's their basis opinion. That's what they feel.
Mm-hmm.
To search more and put more together until it's what makes sense in your personal life. Because I don't think any of like the generic definitions really fit anybody individually.
Yeah.
So what does
if I went by my Libra midheaven, you would think I would be a lawyer or, something like that with my 9th house, but it's astrology and beauty and like my meanness for justice is on the side. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, the beauty does roll into Libra.
Yes, it is.
Libra is very much beauty, aesthetics, the finer things in life. Yes, diplomacy and justice, but it's also all about the pretty stuff, the sparkly
Yeah.
stuff. You
Yep.
know?
Yeah. But yeah, one definition, you got to look beyond that. Give me your turn. I'll tell you.
I was going to say, Wade, what is your north and south node? Or what is your south node?
I don't know what my south node is, but my north node is Libra.
Okay, Libra. So the opposite sign of Libra. Refresh my memory, Sheena.
Aries.
Aries. Okay, so you came in knowing all about self, knowing about courage, knowing about all that stuff, and you're here to learn diplomacy. You're here to learn to appreciate the pretty.
That's good.
Which I can see.
Because I do. I'm like all into like antiques and vintage homes and things like that.
Yeah. So, yeah, actually, you're working it out perfect. Although I will say, your writing is really a good point for you too, because any air sign is more into your liberal arts, your writing, your acting, your theater, everything like that. And Libra would be a good one for authorship.
Yeah, I have a big performing arts background.
Okay. And music too, right? But that kind of ties into the Pisces. That's right.
Oh God, yeah. I can't live without music.
Yeah, and there isn't a single Pisces I know that can. They all love it.
I just have a really interesting idea. I'm planning on eventually writing a memoir, hoping not to kill myself in the process.
Yeah.
Because it's about a really traumatic heartbreak I went through from a really evil cancer.
Yes.
And I was thinking, the idea occurred to me. I'm all like, I'm a musician. Why don't I always also write songs based off of the events in the book and slap together an album to sell with the book?
I think that would be really neat.
I mean, have you ever heard of a memoir like that before? With an accompanying album?
Maybe not with an accompanying album, but I've heard of different fiction books and things like that with that. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of, some authors now, what they're doing is they're publishing the list, because I don't know about you guys, but when I'm writing, I always have particular songs for the stories.
A playlist.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of authors now, especially fiction authors, they're doing that. They're actually publishing the book's playlist on Spotify and sending people to it so they can go through that as they're reading. Another thing people have done, I don't know how familiar you guys are with this, but webtoons, web manga, manhwa, whatever you want to call them, basically your graphic novels online. What some of them will do, they will actually put in a soundtrack to the episodes. So as you're reading, you turn on the sound. It's amazing. It's so much better. It's really awesome.
That would be a really cool experience.
It really is.
As a reader.
One of the ones, Hades and Persephone, is one of the ones that I forget the actual title, but it is about Hades and Persephone. The artwork is a little bit interesting, but the tunes they use, it's really cool when you're going along reading it. Definitely give it a shot. It's on Webtoon, I believe. Actual Webtoon. They've got a little green icon. Hold on just one second here.
Is that tune Toon or TUNE?
TOON, Webtoon. Hold on. So we're a little behind on the comments. Judy Zeitz, throwing bricks would work better than throwing dust. Wow. Dennis, they all use the close optional approach. Okay. How much can one earn being a professional napper? Sheena?
$117,000 a year.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. All right. I was trying to remember this. The original St. Nicholas was born March 15th, 270, which would make him a Pisces metal tiger. Dennis, I would like to see this picture. Dennis, rooster, water rooster, Psyduck in the Pokemon Zodiac. Nay. Dennis, I hope she didn't throw anything expensive. And then Dennis, that's my boy, and she's a workaholic, and she expects me to work when she is ready to do so. Always, constantly. Now, quick question. Have you guys been experiencing anything weird from the recent solar flares? Any physical stuff? Anything rough?
Not
Lack
really.
of sleep, extra fatigue, anything like that?
Not personally, no.
Okay. Some of my clients have been reporting it, and I know it does a number.
Yeah. I was just gonna ask about you because you look like you got some new energy revved up in your bones when you're on tonight. But I was gonna see how you came out.
Actually, I've been feeling really sick. I don't know if I picked up a bug or what, but I've been sick as hell. So I've been sleeping a lot. See, nowadays, it used to be I could sleep just, I could just fall asleep. Nowadays, I can't sleep, and I have to take the different supplements and stuff, valerian root, catnip, all that, to go to sleep. I know when I'm really sick because I will fall asleep on a dime. I mentioned it's wonderful. I don't like being sick, and I'm always worried that something's super wrong, like an infection, something like that I'm fighting. But boy, for those first couple of days when I am just laid out and I just can't wake up for anything, it's wonderful.
Do you have any sage tea?
What?
Do you have any sage tea?
No, but I can get some. Why do you ask?
Well, that would help with general illness.
Okay. I've always known sage as an expectorant, but I didn't know about it for the other stuff.
Oh, it's a good all-purpose herb for most illnesses.
Really?
Like colds, flus, things like that.
Wow, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you just throw in some dried sage herb?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just the kind you cook with.
I was gonna say, what about white sage?
I would avoid using that as it's a culturally sensitive topic.
No. I mean, just in the teas, medicinally speaking.
Oh, I've never thought of using white sage. I don't know enough about it medicinally, to be honest.
Okay.
But the common cooking herb is just so common. It just grows everywhere. In fact, I have a big old plant right here that I still need to plant or to pot off.
Nice.
I'll say this is what I add
good.
to tea or anything else that I'm drinking, even my coffee.
Oh, mine's really good for the lungs.
Put it in the comments. Put the name of it in the comments.
Mullen is really good for the lungs.
That much I know, but it gets a little rough though when I'm trying to take it as a tea or anything like that. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's the texture of the leaves. I think Susan Weed recommended. God, what the hell did she recommend? She recommended, I think, putting a little peppermint in the tea to sort of help with that, I think.
Ooh, okay. I think I'll try that then, because, that stuff's just a little bit rougher than I like. And keep in mind, I drink catnip blank. No sugar. I drink valerian root tea, no sugar. Or honey or anything else. Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
Hey, man, when you need to knock yourself out and you need some pain relief, it's great. Wait, hold on. Dennis, the reason she is falling asleep so rapidly is because she won't rest when she needs to, and so her body gets sick and forces her to rest. Well, it's a little bit more.
My brother does that.
Well, no, it's
my Capricorn always wants to come down and like rescue you in some way every week. I'm just like, I need to go and help Alicia.
Well, no, it's not even that. In 2019, I started having anxiety attacks. So when I would try to lay down to sleep, no matter how tired I was, and the more tired I was, the worse it got. Yeah. So no, it's not just me not wanting to sleep. It's literally my system
Your
freaking
system,
out on me.
your system's basically being your mortal enemy. Your roast.
Pretty much. But like I said, I found a lot of supplements that help, the valerian root, the catnip, everything like that, and it's doing really well. But that really good sleep, that sleep where you can just fall asleep and pass out without a care in the world, that comes when I'm super sick. Like I'm just like sick. You better get my ass to the doctor. But no, it has been nice. I have been getting some sleep lately because I haven't had a choice. Literally, I can be up for a couple of hours and I will need to lay down and just pass out. I've been very lucky that my mom's helping out with Wub and stuff like that. And he's been such a good kid. I can always tell when it's bad because he'll sit right over me. He will sit right by me.
Do you think the solar, because I know a lot of people have been talking about it, like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, especially, it was just exhaustion for everybody. Do you think that's just causing you, like, just adding on top of it for you?
It's a possibility. Yeah. I don't like heat. I'm not a fan of summer. It's not my season, I like fall. Spring's okay. Like winter. Don't like the ice. More of a rainy person.
May and late September are like my favorite months.
Okay.
Not too hot, not too cold. Perfect weather.
Yeah. Just nice. But then again, you got to realize when you think back on it, I was born in Seattle, Washington. I might have only lived there till I was 5, but I was happy with that climate. If it wasn't for the people, I'd move back out there. Too many damn people. Too many people. If I could find a nice little island, I'd be off over there in the rain like all the time. The worst part is my son and I would be completely happy because he loves the rain and he loves water. So, we'd probably get a dog. That would be it. I'd be over there. There are too many people. So I just wish Iowa got a little bit more rain.
Yeah, except for
we need it.
Day. Ugh.
What?
There was like a monsoon here, actually on the way in today. I was like, holy moly. But then it just gets humid, then it turns hot.
I like it when it's kind of cooler when it rains. Not necessarily a cold rain, although I like those too. I like all the rains. But it's just, that kind of cooler rain where you step out in it. And it's kind of gloomy, but it's nice. Arthur and I have matching rain boots.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Cute. If you guys have to wear your matching boots and send me a picture. I want to see it.
Well, I got to get him a new set actually because he's outgrown the last set. He broke his foot recently. And yeah, on the playground, we have no clue. We have no clue what happened. And then the kid proceeded to hop up and down on it for 2 months. He's like, it hurts. I'm like, why are you dancing and twirling and hopping on it? Why are you jumping? It hurts. Okay, we'll put it up and rest. If it hurts, you need to stop. Jump. It's like, okay, you know what? I don't know what's going on here, but this does not add up, And so finally, I don't know what happened. He was out with my mom, and he came down the playground, slide stairs limping. And so she brought him to me, and I'm icing his foot, and I'm feeling it, and I'm like, wait a minute, because he's got clubfoot. He's born with clubfoot. They did a lot of stuff to try and straighten it out and everything, but his left one's still his bad one. And that's the one he hurt, of course. And I'm feeling it, and I'm feeling it, and I'm feeling it. And I'm like, Mom, something's wrong. We got to get him to the doctor. And he's terrified of the doctors. I think he has medical PTSD because of the clubfoot treatment. It is very brutal. And he was very small. And he did not take to it well. And so, I asked him, I'm like, Arthur, we got him to the doctor. And he's like, yeah, doctor. I'm like, okay, I know it's bad. So we run him in. Sure enough, broke his foot. Wow. And he's been hopping around on it. We take him to the ortho. They're like, yeah, his foot's been broke for 2 months. I'm like, no, it has. That's not possible. And they're like, look at the calcification. I'm like, what? Because he's been hopping and jumping. He's gone to multiple playgrounds. He's been climbing and everything. And you would figure if your foot is broke, it would swell up and you would stop, right?
Mm-mm.
Not this kid. I asked the doctor. He's like, honey, he just feels pain differently than we do. I got a very good doctor. He was very grounded. I'm like, okay, well, I feel like the worst mom in the whole universe, but let's get you home.
Oh yeah. Sometimes just don't.
So yeah, no, but and yeah, I've been basically staying home with him, cleared out the area so he could use his crutches and everything like that. And he's being crazy with his crutches.
Oh, I bet.
I'm like, really? Really?
I think I can't remember if it was like 2 summers ago when Luna was swinging on a swing and broke both of her arms at the same time, and she was dealing with that was crazy because she's very much like a writer. She likes to say, oh my god, and she would try to sit and write with 2 cats. She would get so mad, so upset. But yeah, she was the same way. Like they thought they knew the one was broke, and then when she went in for like her 2-week checkup, I was like, can you check the other arm? She just says slightly every once in a while that it hurts. And she had broke both of them. So she ended up with casts on both of them. But yeah, they can still do stuff. And
yeah, it's like, what? If I break a bone, I mean, I'm on the floor screaming and crying and it's swelling. Oh, God.
yeah.
They're going to have to helicopter me out of here. Not him.
I think the young ones, they have some kind of new level of like pain tolerance.
There's something, man, because I'm just looking at them like, okay, kid, you know what? I don't know how to, I don't know. This is not compute. But he hated it after we found out what happened, because then I went into my mode. It's like, nope, you will sit there. You will put ice on your foot. You will not move. And he's motion happy. Okay. So, nope, he doesn't get to move. He doesn't get to do the nope. Always wants to go to a park. No, you can't go to a park. Why not? You broke your foot. Sit down. You know? It's like, park, I'll be good. I'm like, no. It doesn't matter whether you're good or not. You sit. You broke your foot.
Yeah.
Till it heals. And he's like, what do you want me to do? You broke your foot. You know? Yeah.
That would be a hard one to deal with, especially when you have a little, Pisces jumper all around. They're not going to do good.
He is a baby monkey extraordinaire. He loves to climb. He loves to jump. He loves to twirl. He loves to bounce. He loves to walk, run, anything. And he is all about being an outside kid. It's how he drains out his stress. It's how he drains everything that he's seeing and hearing and feeling out. He goes outside and drains it out. And we have stairs. So, yeah. It's been interesting this last while. But he's 92% healed now. So.
Good.
Just a little bit longer, and then, yeah. And he's already trying to jump around on it and stomp, and I'm like, there was a point where he actually jumped up and down and came down on both feet. Now, keep in mind, my kid is 175 pounds and probably about 5'1", and he's mostly muscle.
Oh, wow.
And I knew it was bad because I had to lay down. I got so stressed out. I mean, my energy just drained right out of me, and I just laid down. I'm just like, okay, I'm done now. No more, Arthur. And he's like, I'm sorry, Mama. I'm like, oh, okay. So like, you just die. Okay. Oh God, I don't know, Sheena, Earl, have either of your kids done something that all your stress response points are just done for the day?
All the time.
There's been a few times, and that's just due to Jody having her mother's attitude. That's all it boiled down to, is her having her mother's attitude.
That is Scorpio attitude.
She is very much you could tell not only is she an old, only child, but she's the child of an older mother, because I just didn't, you pick your battles, I think, as an older mom. It reflects sometimes.
You want to draw on the walls? That's cool. You want to paint on the walls? I'm going to have to repaint them anyway. You want it? That's fine. You break your stuff? We have a problem. You make an unnecessary mess you don't pick up? We have a problem. You hurt yourself? Hell's fury will be unleashed upon you. Now, I mean, Arthur knows the certain points. There's like this point, okay? This is where you are shooting to never go. All around it? Okay. You want to squirt a squirt gun at me? Okay, fine. Body shots only. You want to throw stuff at me? Body shots only. I'm working on the computer. You better not get anything on the computer. This is where you do not want to go. Everything around it, whatever. So.
I'm so jealous. I never got to personalize my bedroom growing up.
Really?
Had to keep the walls white, nothing on them.
Why? It's your
Nope,
bedroom.
I know. I don't know why. I wasn't even allowed to open my own bedroom window.
God, it must have gotten stale.
That, of course, was because my stepmother was a bit of a germaphobe.
I was going to say, did you try jumping out your bedroom window? Is that what happened?
No, she was just a germaphobe.
Okay.
And a cancer, not very pleasant to be around.
Ooh.
I was feeling very, loving towards her one day, and it was one of the weeks where my folks were trading off, and we were going to go be with our mom for the week, and so I was packing our clothes into the back of mom's car, and so I turn around and I reach my arms out because I was going to give my stepmother a hug, and she recoiled so violently. You would have thought that was like a walking disease.
Oh wow!
No,
I mean, she was so terrified of me touching her.
Okay. Now, question: how did you handle it? Did you have some fun at her expense? Because if anybody's gonna do that, you gotta have some fun. You gotta have fun with it.
I didn't actually. It just hurt me, and I never mentioned it again.
Oh wow!
We even had a family room in the basement, which is adjacent from me and my brother's room, and we weren't allowed in there at all.
Why?
Her family
Did
could
you guys
come and
have a
go.
cupcake fight?
No, her family could come and go as they pleased. My father could come and go in that room, but me and my brother weren't allowed inside. And if we stepped 1 foot inside, we would never hear the end of it.
Seriously.
Oh.
Seriously.
I got to customize mine when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got to pick out the paint and the carpet.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I had two-tone blue paint for the walls and two-tone gray for the carpet.
Did you need a lot of calming down when you were younger?
Huh?
Did you need a lot of calming down and leveling out when you were younger? Because those colors are not something a little kid picks.
I did.
That's I need a mental break from everything, and I must chill out and calm down and ground.
But he did say when he gets overwhelmed, got on his empath side, he likes that solitude to himself. So maybe he picked that up young and just kind of made his like a little zen den there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's like go in room, shut door. Oh. Oh, and by the way, guys, no, I wasn't talking about my son's bedroom. I was talking about the whole house. He paints and draws on the walls. I don't give a rat's ass. It's like I'm gonna have to repaint that anyway. I'll get bored of the color eventually. No, it was the same way with my dad. He's like, she's drawing on the walls. Cool, whatever. I'm gonna have to repaint it. I mean, Dad was actually, he was pretty laid back about a lot of stuff, but just like me, there's that box that you do not go into. Otherwise, it's going to be an entire shitstorm of hellacious proportions. Okay, so avoid the box, do everything else, and boom, there you go. I learned really early. I picked up, don't do these certain things, and we're good. And we were good for the most part. My son, however, God love him, he's picked up most of it, but there are times when he's like, I'm not supposed to do this, but let's see what happens anyway. It's like,
I'm an Aries son.
Hell, why not?
Child.
Oh God. no, no. I don't know if I could do that. I just don't
Honestly,
know.
I'm surprised that my dad didn't divorce her on the spot, because if that had been one of my kids and someone did that to them, they would get divorce papers before their head hit the pillow that night.
Oh yeah, no, that
Mhm.
that wouldn't. But everybody's different. See, I grew up with a really good example out of my dad. Anytime, and okay, mom left when I was 7. Dad was very popular with the ladies. He still is. And every single one, I started to understand that the evil stepmom trope is not just a trope. It's a thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay?
It's a thing.
It's a basis in fact. Oh my God.
Mhm.
These girls, they would come in and they would try and drive a wedge between Dad and I. They would think that they had some sort of power, and Dad would just look at them like, there's plenty more where you came from. Fuck out.
Yeah, exactly. I
Get
mean,
out.
like,
The
Move on.
affection. Crazy.
And it's just like, why? I was being nice to you. Why did you? But they wanted it all their way, and they thought they could get it, because a lot of men and a lot of women will do that. They will just toss their kids and their family over for whatever mate they have. And it's really sad when I see it, because I'm like, guys, come on.
Yeah.
I never understood that. I'm like, with kids and pets, it's like you choose the kids and the pets. You don't choose.
Yeah, it's like,
You don't choose the other person.
hey man, mates can come and go. I have seen some really crappy ones. I have seen some scary stuff, and I've seen the people that give up everything for them, and they're left high and dry in the end. Both male and female, doesn't matter. So my dad taught me real early. You have your priorities straight. Don't deviate from it, baby. So hold on just one second.
Hello, Ashley, hon.
Ashley Countryman. Hi guys. Hey Ashley, how you doing, babe? What's good? Hold on. Dennis, did we not get enough rain today? No, we did not. We're going to need more. So yes.
Not if we don't want to have a repeat of 93.
I know. On another note, though, the basement of the spaceship building is probably flooding at this point, or at least has like that much water in it. I'm sad about it, but I'm very relieved I don't have to deal with it.
I was gonna say, good thing it's not your problem anymore.
Who built that building?
What? Oh,
who built that building?
It was actually the owner of the hair salon that he built it for, and I can't remember his name, but he built it on the Earthship movement. It was really neat, but apparently it was very controversial even for the 1980s, which I don't know why, because it was the 80s. But anyway, and he got a lot of flack for it, but he drew it all up and everything, and he took it to Des Moines Architectural College, his plans, and they were like, "You're on crack," and he's like, "Whatever, can you make this work?" And so, yeah, he had it built to his specifications, which I think is absolutely awesome because it's a gorgeous building. But yeah, it does
I
have
just love it when someone thinks outside the box like that.
It was a good building, but it has drawbacks.
And it has some problems. And the problem is, I did not have the money to keep up with it. And yeah, so now it is the building owner's issue, and I feel bad for the building. I'm bearing no malice, but it's nice to not have to be so stressed about it.
Oh, so you're not in that building anymore?
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, I thought you knew. I moved to Merle Hay Mall.
I had no idea.
I thought you knew. Okay.
No, I never knew. I thought you were still in that building.
No, okay. So quick timeline recap. I thought you knew all this. So July, a tornado went through and it actually hit the building. We actually got cordoned off by the fire department because it broke a gas line. They could smell the gas all the way up the street to Isles Funeral Home. Well, after that happened and I came back in and we tried to do stuff and everything like that, we were closed for 2.5 weeks right before the state fair. Did I mention that hit us monetarily like a kick to the nuts?
I can imagine.
Yeah. Actually, multiple kicks to the nuts. But anyway, then after that, I just talked with the landlady. I'm like, look, landlady, landlord, land couple, whatever you want to call it. I'm like, look, we were already hanging by a thread, and this just KO'd us. And so they're like, okay, we're going to sell the building. I'm like, okay, you know what? Cool. Let's do it. Let's sell it. They're like, can you move out in 10 days? I'm like, 10
That's a
days.
good one.
I'm like, not unless you want to pay for all my ER trips, because I'm going to keep throwing my back out, which I'm not going to do. So, because it's 2 stories plus a basement. I had stuff for 7 years before I moved in. And then over the 7 years, I collected more stuff, obviously. And so I spent the next 2 months or so moving everything out of the building. Me, my husband, Nicole, and Arthur sometimes. A couple people came in to help, but everybody had chaos going on in their life. So, it was a slow move. And originally I was just going to mothball the shop. I was going to stick it in storage and just be like, look, I'm just going to wait until I find the right place to go, because this is one of those where you got to find the right place to be. Then the mall calls me. They're like, we heard you're looking for a place. You want to rent from us? And I'm like, okay, how did you hear that? Because what the hell? I haven't said a whole lot that I've been moving. And so I went in, I talked to them, and they were absolutely awesome with me. They were just like, hey. And I'm like, hey. And, we hashed out all the rules and everything like that.
Well, considering the state of the nation's malls, can you really blame them?
Well, but it was just really nice because they had a very different vibe from the Spaceship Building's landlords. And it was a much more peaceful one. And so I enjoyed it. I like dealing with them, and I'm like, this isn't going to be a perfect fit, and I'm sure there are going to be drawbacks, but this seems great. So let's try a short lease at first. It was 6 months. So I moved in November and got everything going, got everything moving. And then, I signed my second lease. So that's going to be for a little bit longer.
Good. Love it.
Which part of the mall are you in?
I'm over by Target and Five Below. I'm in the old Foot Locker area.
Okay, yeah, I'm in there years.
By Target.
So I will have to I would definitely have to make plans to visit you.
Well, keep in
some
mind,
weekend.
We are holding the Season of Souls Fair October 31st, November 1st and 2nd. It's our second big psychic fair at the mall. It's being held in the actual mall. I'm renting it out. And oh my God, they've been really nice about that too. I had the March fair there, and I'm excited because the energy is so much better there. The fairgrounds was getting really rough. It was rough to deal with, and it was just rough all the way around. And we were having to work so hard just to make it work. It was ridiculous. So in a lot of ways, I'm kind of glad we found the mall, or the mall found us, because it's actually pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm actually planning on doing trick or treat for the kids during that time. During that weekend.
Quick thing, just to let everybody know, the mall told us that we probably shouldn't set up Thursday night because the city of Des Moines said no more Devil's Night or whatever, no more trick or treat. So they're just going to run it all through malls and enclosed spaces.
What?
Yeah, I'm thinking something hinky's going on, maybe crime rate or something like that. But they're running it through the malls and everything. Now,
hold it. I just seen a news.
It's for Des Moines. I don't know about any other place, but for Des Moines, we got informed. I'm going to put the announcement up as soon as I think of it. But basically, a lot of people, I would say, probably don't do it. But for me, I'm kind of thinking it's going to be a good way to advertise the fair if we have a small table out there with candy and knickknacks and somebody who's good with kids.
I'm going all out. I'm going all out this year.
All stating that the Baker's Day is still going to be on October 30th.
Yeah.
For the mall.
For the mall. Yes.
But our fair is October 31st.
That's why I said they're stating that people probably shouldn't set up that Thursday night because of the Beggars Night. So, but I'm thinking I stick him out there with a bucket of candy. Okay, a couple sacks full of candy, because my God,
I'll go through one of those sacks on my own.
I know. But oh my God, the amount of children that go through there, it's just like, and you run out of candy so fast. It's like, oh my God, one piece apiece, one piece apiece. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna have the big sacks of candy, industrial candy.
Please buy
Just
good quality candy, though.
let them all know that if need be, I will come in for Beggar's Night.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking. You should come in for Beggar's Night and sit there and pass out candy.
Hey,
Yeah, I'll one way or another, I'll make that work.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I'll wear my Santa suit. Wait.
I will.
You're gonna be Jack Skellington.
Yeah. I was gonna say, even Welso, he's thinking about getting a booth at the fair if he can get up enough inventory, because he's doing carpentry work now. He's actually making stuff, and putting like crystals and stuff in it. He's thinking about sitting there and passing out candy too. He's like, "What the hell, man? This will be fun." Sarah.
Huh. Like, yeah, have all the vendors get a bowl. We could just.
You're gonna want a sack, baby, not a bowl.
Oh shoot! Yeah. Basically, any from my experience from doing trick or treat downtown Waterloo here, yeah, I had to wind up doing 2 store runs.
Yeah, I was shocked at how many kids went through the mall. But if you think about it, it's a lot safer. So
Yeah, it is.
you know, and there's less worry about, having pins and razor blades and the candy and stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah, slightly
I
less.
never thought we'd get to a point in history where like trick or treating is too dangerous,
Well, if dumbasses who do stupid stuff keep going, they ruin it for everybody.
I just need to find someone who still makes the homemade popcorn balls.
Mm-hmm.
I miss
to make those.
I miss those damn things. Shit.
I think there's still some vendors who sell them. But
at home, basically there's one house on the south end of town. She always made homemade popcorn balls. And we all had our game plan set up that was the first house that everybody hit first.
Wow. Nice.
Everybody converged on that house first.
Yeah, there was one year we were so popular because we used to give the kids full-size cans of pop.
Really?
We were like the popular house like 2 years running.
Oh my God.
Well, especially if you give them the small cans.
Yeah, they were full size.
Damn, how many cans did you go through?
I can't remember anymore.
Wow, that's a lot. Okay, at that point, just put a soda fountain out in your yard and go, okay, everybody gets a mug. There you go. There you go. There you go. No, that's awesome though. But I'm really excited.
Do the chocolate fountain.
I feel that would be unsanitary at that point, though, because you're going to get kids sticking their head in the fountain. You're going to get parents sticking their head in the fountain. You're going to get Dennis sticking his head in the fountain. I mean, come on now. It's going to get unsanitary real fast. And then you got the adults who start throwing chocolate at each other. You said damn right. Come on, Sheena. You know what would happen. They'd be like, that's a chocolate fountain. You'd be like, get away from there, Bill. Get away from the fountain, Bill. So, yeah. Oh, I would be remiss if I did not read Kasumi's comments off to you about the empathic overwhelm, because she did take the time to mention it. And she does send her love, but let's all send her some good energy to help with that move. Because, damn, moving is no fun. Did I mention how much I dislike moving?
I've decided that if and when I move again, it will be with professional movers, because I've had it. I'm not doing it anymore.
Oh my God.
Oh, and no kegs either, because you don't want parents doing keg stands.
But those kids would be a lot more chill after they had some stuff out of the cake. Those kids would sleep great. The parents would sleep good too. Oh.
I DJ'd a what was it, 16-year-old birthday party, and long out towards the end of the night, I look over and the mother of the kid is upside down doing cake stands.
Oh. Did you click a quick picture though? Just like
Uh-huh.
So how's your 6-year-old's birthday party, baby? Okay.
Well, all right, everybody, I'm going to jump off for the night, get my
All
little.
right.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Sheena, any closing tips or tricks for empathic overwhelm?
I would say number one thing, grounding is the
Mhm.
number one most important thing.
How do you ground?
Yeah, and then shield until you can transmute.
Okay.
Mhm.
Awesome.
It was nice meeting you, Wade.
Thanks. Nice
See you
meeting you
again,
too.
girl.
Night, Sheena. Thanks for being on. Okay, so Kusumi put this out. She recommends therapy and meditation will help with empathic overload, essentially acknowledging those feelings even though you know they aren't your own and letting them exist or pass. And then I asked for tips on the fly, on the go. Let yourself feel as soon as you can, find out where everything is coming from. And for Kasumi, she personally goes and talks to the person to see if she can help or just even sit and feel it with them. And I said, okay, how would you suggest a person get rid of it? Also, what if you're dealing with a crowd or large group of people and multiple sources at once, say for instance, work or group function or family gathering or party or such? Sadly, that's a lot harder. You can either create stimulus you can control or find an area of said group that doesn't have as hard-hitting or negative emotions. Okay, describe stimulus that you can control. And also, what if the person in question gets hit so hard they always end up getting super sick in the bathroom after any function with lots of people? Stimulus, like eating food that makes you happy, music that evokes an emotion you are familiar with, sensations, essentially forcing an emotion you know is yours. As for the last thing, unfortunately, I don't know. I haven't experienced it. So, that's another thing. Do you guys ever use stimulus you can control?
Music.
Yeah, just music.
What kind?
Whatever I enjoy. You know, it can be Madonna, Cher, Barbara.
Okay.
Yeah.
Usually it's music that I could sing.
Interesting. Now, do you think that has a component in flushing it out? Is my question.
In a sense, yes, because they're usually songs that come from a character and the situation.
Ooh, okay.
You know, such as musical theater repertoire.
Nice. I was just wondering if maybe the harmonic frequency, it kind of helped to reset you.
No, just losing myself in the character of the song.
Okay. I like that though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually really glad I brought this up now because I wouldn't have thought about that. Singing.
Plus, knowing that I could, do a better job anyway.
No, because I have found that when I sing in the shower, all of a sudden stuff starts to peel away from me.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than just showering, but actually raising my voice, kind of helping out that throat chakra, it does change the resonance.
Mm-hmm.
I used to sing to my son when he was little, and he loved it. And it would change the atmosphere around me. And all of a sudden, a bad mood would turn into a good one.
Yeah, sound is great for doing that. Like just ringing a little dinner bell,
Mm-hmm.
or
So
making noise with really any instrument.
true, but I hadn't thought of it on the empathic overwhelm setting.
Hmm.
Earl, have you had any experience with that?
Well, and with me being uh, being a DJ, like I said, music usually does help me, especially when it's music that resonates with me. Um, um, yeah, especially music that I wind up singing along to.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Is it? Yeah, that's what I enjoy.
Nice. I love that. Now, that's interesting. I'm going to run that by my friend. She was one of the few other people when I told her I would get so sick after doing the vendor shows and stuff. I mean, I'd be chugging coffee hard to try and keep everything blocked and keep myself up and happy and going and da 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 da, dance monkey dance kind of thing. And then I would go into the bathroom right when the closing bell rang, when everybody was done at my table, and I would just be sicker than hell. I mean, sick, you know. But my friend, I talked to her and she was like, no, when I go to conventions and everything, basically I feel it all at once. I go somewhere private, cry, scream, vomit, whatever I have to do. And then I move on, and then it's all out of my system. But she sings really well. She's got an amazing voice. And I'm going to ask her if she's ever tried this.
Mm-hmm. Plus, I've also discovered that if I want to clear people out, there are certain songs that I can play that I know will clear people out.
Which ones? I'm kidding.
Well, Happy Trails for one.
Okay.
Closing Time.
Okay.
And let's see. Oh, yeah. Especially when I start ad-libbing and singing along with old Clarence.
Old Clarence.
Clarence Carter.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I start ad-libbing with I can clear people out real quick.
Oh my God. Oh. Okay. So, any other stimulus you can control, guys, that you would recommend? Any other tips for people on the fly? Keeping a buddy with you or a pet, stimulus you can control, anything else?
Yeah, just using protection potion. Normally, you take a drop of inches on your third eye, your wrist, and the back of your neck are the usual spots.
Okay, it doesn't work for the empath thing. I mean, energy, yeah, but I wouldn't think emotions.
What emotions are a form of energy, and if you specifically charge the potion to protect you from those things,
right,
it will likely do so. My own blend is just a mixture of frankincense, myrrh, benzoin, and cloves.
Okay, that must smell nice.
Cloves are really good for sealing things, closing things off.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Wade, it's going to be a little off the topic and kind of a weird question, but you're used to that from me. Do you know of any seals, anything you can draw on the body, anything you can do to prevent body switching, astral projection, things like that?
I know Native Americans do.
Really?
Yeah, Native Americans do that.
Not off the top of my head, but a friend of mine wrote a book. It's called The Enchanted Candle by Lady Radio. and it contains a lot of different candle stills that you carve into those big jar candles that you pull out of the glass jar. And I'm sure some of those could be used with some impermanent medium that you can apply to the body.
Okay. You say hold on, I'm looking it up on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to use my keyboard. It's too loud.
If you talk to any Native American tribal leader or elder or one who basically is the medicine man or medicine woman for the group, for that tribe, they use symbols for protection. They use symbols for repelling. There's a number of them, but I get that information from usually elders or somebody along those lines.
Okay.
Hear that, or else douse yourself in mint extract.
Okay. To prevent body swapping and astral projection?
Well, also to repel.
Really? Interesting. I like it.
Yeah, because dousing yourself in mint extract, you will tend to repel any negativity coming at you.
Okay. AngelLynn finally got back to us. Hold on. Just a second. Reading it online. Okay. Oh my god. I'm so sorry. I forgot all about it. I had booked a party. I swear my mind is going. Please don't hate me. All right, let's hate her for it. No, I'm teasing. Oh, but I am totally going to give her a whole bunch of shit about this. Because she was super
excited. Grab Lucy.
What?
I said just let me grab Lucy. That's a oh crap. What the hell's that show called? It's a zombie show.
Dead?
No, what? God, it's got Jeffrey Dean Morgan in it. And he has this bat called Lucy. It's wrapped in barbed wire.
Okay. Walking Dead.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Oh my god. Oh, be that mean. No, I am just going to give her some shit about it, though. She was super excited to be on tonight and had a bunch to say, so I guess we'll have to redo this one, guys. Oh my god. All right. So, Earl, tips on the fly, empathic overwhelm.
Like what I said earlier, when it comes to bathing, make sure that you're using sea salt, or I use mint and rosemary together to cleanse with. And you always want to make sure you've got something natural to strip away that negativity.
Okay. Perfect. And of course, with the salt, mint, and rosemary, guys, please avoid any very sensitive spots, because that is not the kind of light up your life spiciness you want.
Absolutely.
Did I mention I once had rosemary mint shampoo? And I used it all over. Did I mention that my body turned cold and started burning? And I couldn't wash it off hard enough. And then I realized, and I looked at the bottle and went, oh my God. Because I had used it without thinking. Yeah. But I was very clean after that. I felt very clean. Very clean. So yes. guys, please be careful and use responsibly. And of course, Dennis, he be stroking. Jesus, dear God. Anyway, I am not going to go there. All right, homies. Well, what do you say we call it a night? My back's killing me, and I think I'm going to have to pass out again soon.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on, guys, and I really appreciate your input on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Problem.
All right.
All right. Same bat time, same bat channel next week.
Actually, next week we'll be back to 8:30 more than likely because Mom will be home that week, which means she won't be getting back after packing up her modem and everything else and having to drive home. She'll also be in a lot cheerier disposition. She hates going into the office and she absolutely hates packing up the modem and driving back and forth. She was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to work from home. What about my social life? Ah! I'm like, Mom, you and I both know, give it a month and nothing will get you out that door after that. Nothing. There is nothing that will pry you out of a work from home status. She's like, you don't understand. It took 2 weeks, baby. And she's like, I am never leaving this house. Okay, she leaves the house, but she's like, I'm never going back into the office. I'm good. It's forever. Work from home for life. I'm like, uh-huh. That's what I thought. So yeah, it's her perpetual irritation that she has to go back into the office now. Along with all the other irritants.
She could be a digital nomad if she chose.
Well, unfortunately, Wells Fargo is just like, look, I don't care how good you are at your job. You need to come in for 2 weeks every month. Everybody.
Oh, God.
They're like, there are some people I can see it, okay? There are some people that need that constant monitoring and micromanagement.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people that don't. You just leave them alone in their corner, they're going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
My mom is one of those. I was the same way. Just, okay, tell me what you need me to do. Show me what you need me to do. Get out of my way and leave me alone. Because if you stand here, I am not going to do this job at all.
Mm-hmm.
And my smart bosses got out of my way. They're like, okay, she doesn't need any managing. She's good. She's on time. Boom, boom, boom. You know, but there are some people that really need that managing. So I do get it, but I think they should. Mm-hmm. I think they should do. They should do it on a case-by-case basis. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So yeah. Anyway, loves to you all. Thanks for being on. Yes, next week we'll be on time. And less less chaotic. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. All right. Mwah. Love you guys.
Yeah.
Everyone.
All right, peeps. Love you all. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry it was a little late and everything got a little crazy. If you guys have any questions, comments, anything like that, let me know in the comments. Let me know by messaging me. Like, subscribe, follow. You guys are awesome. Bye-bye, butterflies. And, tune in next week.